I am now creating weekly exclusive content for Patreon, so if you are interested in that, go check out the link down below. And of course, if you want to avoid the random lottery of FIFA points, you want to go straight to the source, buy the players directly, use u7buy.com and use the code TVM at checkout. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to yet another player review. As you could probably tell, I've got this guy as a red pick. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the Road to Glory from yesterday afternoon, I got the guy I wanted, the 95 rated team of the season and / team of the year as well, because he's basically the same card as his team of the year. So very happy about that, because I was actually playing the player of the month at right back in my Road to Glory team. I was planning actually on getting Wan-Bissaka, not because I think Wan-Bissaka is necessarily better than Trent, although maybe just slightly. It's actually because I thought that Trent would be far more expensive than Wan-Bissaka, really, because of the fact that he's 95 rated and he has a team of the year, and I thought that his price would be slightly higher. But having looked at them, they're both roughly the same price, so could have gone for either. But obviously now that I've got the 95 Trent, I'm more than happy to stick him in there. His stats are pretty good. Obviously, if you've used any version of Trent this year, you'll know that this is going to just be a much better version than the one that you've already used. So, for example, I've used that 88 Player of the Month for hundreds and hundreds of games, and I was starting to feel like he was just getting left behind. He just isn't really good enough. Now that we have this team of the season that is 7 better in pace, 14 better in shooting, 6 better passing, 8 for dribbling and defending, and then 12 in physical. Theoretically, we should have a much more refined, slightly beefier, and just all-round better card. That's what I was looking for. 4-star weak foot, 3-star skills, which is not ideal, obviously. I mean, I say ideal. I think that's good. I don't think it's not perfect. Of course, a 5-star weak foot for any player would be perfect, but that's more than good enough. We've got high attacking work rate, medium defensive, lean body type, which for a fullback can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, depends how you use your fullbacks. Because for me personally, I like to use them to get forward. So a lean body type is nice, because even in bad gameplay then, he should feel relatively good. I'm not going to direct compare him to Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but because he was the player that I was considering, I am going to refer to him quite a lot, because Wan-Bissaka's card, again, has a lean body type, but he has better agility, and he has more pace. So he does feel, I wouldn't say he feels better, but he feels more agile, ironically. But he just, I don't know, it's easier on the movement. You know, even if you are stuck in bad gameplay, Wan-Bissaka has that little sort of thing about him where he can feel good even in bad gameplay, whereas Trent feels a bit taller, even though he's not. He feels a little bit more rigid, and that agility will go against him slightly, especially in bad gameplay. Bear that in mind. Not to say that this is not a good card, though, because he will do a fantastic job at defending for you. 98 stand tackle, 94 slide, 94 interceptions with 80 defensive awareness, which, of course, is probably better than what he is in real life at defending, because I think that's probably the weakest side of his game in terms of real life football. I'm a Liverpool fan, by the way, so I'm not criticising. I'm just saying, I'm hoping that over the next year or two he does improve defensively, because going forward he's one of, if not the best in the world at doing that. And in FIFA, he's very good at doing it as well. So my fullbacks are on overlap, of course, but they are also on stay back while attacking. The reason for that is so that when we do go on the attack, he'll only really go forward if and when I need him to. So I can look at him, I can hit L1 or LB, whichever platform you're on, of course, and it will send him on a run. But he'll be more than happy to do so because he is set to overlap. Very often when you don't have the stay back while attacking, he's just halfway up the field, if not all the way up the field, when you're then facing a counter-attack, and having that gap in behind is just, it's not a good look. So step back while attacking means that he'll only ever go forward when I want him to. And that's a fantastic thing to put on your fullbacks if you're not that great at defending. And Trent really is a player that will listen, and he'll go forward with pace, but then he'll bust a gut to get back as well. He doesn't have the high defensive work rate, so putting him on stay back while attacking I think just benefits him a little bit more. In terms of chem styles, I mean, it's entirely up to you what you want to do. If you're more of a defense-minded player, then obviously something like a sentinel or an anchor. In terms of a shadow, we've been through this several times, and there's never going to be any comprehensive proof of this. But shadow chem styles supposedly are broken. Same with the hunter. And if you give a shadow chem style to a defender, you are going to get more out of them. I'm not sure how true that is. It's the same with a hunter and an attacker. I don't know if there's any truth to that at all. I just know that a lot of the pros, for example, will just whack hunters and shadows on nearly every single play that they have, and they'll go with that, whether it's because they want that pace boost and just sort of core defensive boost or attacking boost. I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but supposedly they are a little bit broken. So feel free to put a shadow on him. I don't think you'll get any complaints. Personally, if you want a more defensive-minded player, something like a Sentinel or an Anchor would be the way forward. Anchor turns him into a 98 rated right back. Shadow does the same. Sentinel only a 97, but you do end up getting a slightly bigger boost on strength if that is something that interests you at all. Depends if you want 5 strength or 5 extra pace. I think an Anchor is probably the best one to go with, to be fair, if you're looking at that defense-minded sort of side of things. Guardian, on the other hand, Guardian is one that I've gone with. And the reason for that is because he's going to be overlapping a fair bit. I kind of want him to be a little bit better in terms of his mobility, his agility, and I need him a little bit more composed on the ball as well as his dribbling and ball control. So with the Guardian, only a 97 rated right back. I say only, that's still, only 2 overall better than what you could do. But the Guardian, for me, just gave him that little bit more mobility. It's what I went with the Player of the Month. It was what I was always going to go with the Team of the Season. And it just gives him that little bit more agility. He feels a little bit better on the ball. Suits the meta of the game, just that touch more. And I just think, in general, that's kind of what you want. If you're ever stuck in bad gameplay and you're thinking, well, is it my connection, or you're cursing EA servers, you want to try and give yourself every single advantage that you can. And in doing that, I just think that giving an agility, a balance, or a pace boost, and that's why I think the Shadow is so good as well, is obviously going to help that. It's not going to fix the problem. Bad gameplay at the end of the day is bad gameplay. But the more agile your players are, the faster that they are, the easier it is to use them within bad gameplay. That's why you will see people who have just completely littered their starting 11 with Shadows and Hunters. It's to try and combat that. And that's why the pros are pros, because they can see that and they read that. And instead of going, well, I'm going to give my card a backbone, because with that then I get a nice strength boost and a passing boost and a nice defensive boost. Yeah, but you're not going to have that sort of mobility that you need. And that's what Trent needs. He is very, very good at defending. He's got, with a Guardian, 99 for slide tackle, stand tackle, defensive awareness and interceptions. His heading is boosted to 86 if there is a goal kick, for example. Wouldn't worry too much about crosses because no one ever really does them. So I wouldn't concern yourself with that. But in terms of defensive capability, you can't get a better fullback than Trent's stats. They're 99 for everything. And then he does have a strength issue at 77, so bear that in mind. There aren't too many attackers with high strength that will cause him too many problems. Depay is one that now and again I came up against that will cause, to be fair, Depay will cause anyone problems because his strength is unbelievably high. He has a stocky body type, he's got good aggression, so he will get in there and cause issues for any fullback in the game. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much. With FIFA as well, it's not so much strength that concerns me because it's just a case of getting a body in the way. Half the time, I'm not making challenges. Half the time, I'm cutting passing lanes. And of course, you can do that quite well with him because his agility now is very, very high. He's very quick and he's got insane interceptions. So cutting off the passing lane is actually very easy to do with Trent. Unfortunately, there aren't any traits to speak of. I mean, he does have an early crosser. It can come in handy with an overlap. So, as an example, you're on a counter-attack, you've got him on the overlap, you send him around the outside, you're a little bit further out than what you normally would, you hold down R1 or RB, and you hit the cross button, so either X or square, I believe it is on PlayStation, and you will be able to do that a little bit sooner outside of the penalty area to get the ball on the ground at pace into your attacker. That is quite useful, so I suppose that trait does come in handy for those sort of things, but it's not that often I tend to use that, to be fair. It's not that often I get a breakaway that is that clear-cut that I can drill it along the ground ahead of the defenders. Normally got to take it down to the byline and cut back, right? But yeah, just know that that's a thing. This card is very, very good. You know, it was almost pointless me reviewing it, but if you have picked him up in red picks and you don't know whether to use him or the current fullback that you have, or whether you want to change your team because you've got him and maybe one or two others that work, or maybe you've managed to pack him out of the one of those awesome deluxe packs that EA keep ramming down our throats, then obviously now you have a point of reference. I do really like him. Not really that biased towards him, in fairness. It's FIFA at the end of the day. Like I said, I probably would have gone for Wan-Bissaka had I not got him in red picks myself. But he is a very, very good player, very capable, and definitely, I wouldn't say like proper end game. There are definitely fullbacks out there that could be better and better suited to FIFA. But if you have packed him, then if, in my opinion, you've got yourself a fullback until the end of the game. I really like him. I think he's fantastic. You've got options in terms of chem style. He suits nearly every play style, I would say. So yeah, definitely a win from me. If you have enjoyed this play review, do me a favour and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index, the game changed. Download the app now.